Good morning, everyone. Today we will discuss the Lesson 9 Practice Court. In this lesson, we will discuss the different court system of the Philippines. But first, let us know what is Philippine court system. Philippine court system refers to the judiciary of the Philippines, one of the three branches of the government which is tasked with interpreting and applying the law. It operates under the framework of 1987 Philippine Constitution and consists of hierarchy of courts, which we will discuss later. In the context of the Philippines, we have three branches of the government: judiciary, legislative, and executive branch. Under the judiciary branch is this Philippine court system. Philippine court system consists of hierarchy of courts that ensures that justice is delivered fairly and efficiently. This system adheres to the principle of judicial independence, ensuring it is free from the influence of the two other branches of the government, which are the executive and legislative branches. Under the hierarchy of the Philippine courts, we have the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest court in the land and the court of the last resort. It is composed of Chief Justice and 14 associate justices. It has both original and appellate jurisdiction and handles constitutional questions, appeals from lower courts, and administrative cases involving members of the judiciary. The best example of this, questioning executive actions such as those during martial law or presidential veto powers that have often been heard by the Supreme Court. We have the Philippine Court of Appeals, also known as CA. It is an intermediate appellate court that reviews decisions from lower courts, such as regional trial courts, and it has jurisdiction over various cases including criminal, civil, and administrative matters. A trending example of a recent Court of Appeals decision is its ruling in favor of the news organization Rappler. The Court of Appeals voided a 2018 order by the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as SEC, that revoked Rappler's certificate of incorporation. The court emphasized that Rappler was fully compliant with constitutional requirements which mandate Filipino ownership and management of media entities. This decision marked a significant victory for press freedom in the Philippines. Additionally, other notable cases include environmental and ancestral land disputes, such as the case filed by the indigenous communities in Palawan against mining corporations and government officials. Now let's proceed to the Court of Tax Appeals, or CTA. In the Philippines, primarily addresses cases involving tax disputes including assessments, refunds, criminal tax cases, and disputes arising from tax treaties. The best example for this Court of Tax Appeals is when a company pays a value-added tax or VAT on goods or services it sells abroad. Since exports are zero rated for VAT or value-added tax under the Philippine law, the company can claim a refund for the VAT it paid on purchases related to its exports. And when the company files a request for a refund with the Bureau of Interval Revenue or BIR, and if the BIR denies or does not act on the request, the company can appeal the decision before the Court of Tax Appeals. Because the Court of Tax Appeals will determine if the company provided with sufficient documentation, invoices, and proof of exports to support its claim and decide whether the refund is warranted or not. Now we're down to the Sandigan Bayan. The Philippines Anti-Graft Court has recently handled notable cases highlighting its role in addressing corruption and public accountability. The best example for the case that is held or handled by the Sandigan Bayan is the Estrada bribery case. The Sandigan Bayan upheld its earlier decision acquitting Senator Jinggoy Estrada on bribery charges, dismissing an appeal on grounds of double jeopardy. Next, we have the Regional Trial Courts or RTCs. Regional Trial Courts are the second-level trial courts in the Philippines, established under the Judiciary Reorganization Act of 1980. They are tasked with handling a wide range of cases involving criminal, civil, family, commercial, and special laws. RTCs are organized into judicial regions, which each region having multiple branches located in cities and municipalities. The Philippine judiciary includes several levels of courts designed to address various types of cases efficiently. Among these are the Metropolitan Trial Courts, Municipal Trial Courts, and Municipal Circuit Trial Courts, which form the first level of courts primarily handling less serious cases. Understanding this court structure and jurisdiction is essential to appreciating their role in justice system. First is the Metropolitan Trial Courts. Metropolitan Trial Courts or METCs are located in cities within Metro Manila, reflecting the area's urban density and high volume of legal disputes. These courts handles cases with specific limitations on monetary claims and the severity of offenses. For instance, they adjudicate civil cases where the value of the claim does not exceed 2 million pesos and criminal cases punishable by imprisonment not exceeding 6 years. They also preside over summary procedures such as small claims and ejectment cases which expedite the resolution of disputes. An example would be a landlord in Quezon City filing a case against a tenant for unpaid rent under 1 million pesos. Therefore, this case would fall under the jurisdiction of the Metro Manila Trial Courts in Quezon City. Now, the municipal trial courts or MTCs are outside Metro Manila. Municipal trial courts serve individual cities or municipalities. Their jurisdiction mirrors that of the MTCs but applies to smaller, less densely populated regions. MTCs handle civil and criminal cases within the same monetary and penalty limits as MTCs. These courts ensures that citizens in provincial areas can access justice for minor disputes without the need to travel far. For instance, an MTC in Cebu might hear a small claims case involving a 300,000 pesos unpaid loan. By focusing on less severe disputes, MTCs enable the regional trial courts to focus on more complex and significant cases. Last is the Sharia courts. Sharia courts are an integral part of the Philippines legal system, specifically designed to address issues that pertain to a Muslim personal laws. The Philippines is a predominantly Catholic nation, but it has a significant Muslim population, primarily in regions such as Mindanao, in recognition of the unique cultural and religious practices of Filipino Muslims. The Philippine government provides for the application of Sharia law in personal and family matters involving Muslims. This legal framework is codified under the Code of Muslim Personal Law of the Philippines, Presidential Decree number 1083, which governs matters such as marriage, divorce, and family disputes according to Islamic principles. Sharia courts in the Philippines are divided into two types: the Sharia circuit courts and the Sharia district courts. These courts are tasked with handling specific cases that fall under the domain of personal laws as prescribed by Islam. The Sharia circuit courts, these courts operate at the lower level and handle cases related to marriage, divorce, and other personal matters. They are typically situated in regions with significant Muslim population and hear cases such as the validity of Muslim marriage, disputes regarding dowries, and cases involving divorce. On the other hand, the Sharia district courts, these are the higher courts that handle more complex cases, including inheritance disputes and cases that require more detailed adjudication. They also serve as appellate courts for cases appealed from the Sharia circuit court.